Okay, for this first release, we are going to target the occiput. So that's right where the skull and the neck meet, right underneath this area. The reason why we're focusing on it is if you've been on a computer or sitting for long periods of time, our neck slowly tends to extend forward like this. And then what that does is add extra pounds on the cervical spine, and we become really tight in this area. So if we can start to loosen the fascia in that area and find more mobility to be able to pull our neck back, then it can eventually live upright so that our ears are stacked over our shoulders. You can measure on yourself or take a picture. As you're standing, you might notice your ears are not quite aligned with your shoulders. And what that does over time is just add more pressure on the cervical spine, and it can cause headaches and neck pain and all sorts of stuff. So before we do the release, let's start with a little neck mobility to just activate the area. So you can take your hands here on your chest, and we'll start by gently gliding your chin forward and then down, back, and up. Again, forward, sliding down, back, and up. So most of the focus should be on the backwards pull because that is the most unpracticed movement. So when you do these on your own, you can do about 5 to 10 repetitions forward and back. And then we'll start to move side to side. So take the chin and we'll slide it over to the left and slide it over to the right. Slide, slide. So it's like you're inside of a picture frame and you're kissing one ear and the other ear. If this is hard to achieve right away, you can also go 45 degree one direction, center, 45 degrees the other. So let's do a few of those. We'll be doing this neck slide motion on your back. So when I say neck slides, this is what I mean, sliding left and right. And then let's make one big circle. So we'll take our chin over to one side, to the front, over to the other side, and then reaching it back and behind. Like you have a marker on your chin and you're drawing a circle on a table. Let's do a few in the other direction. So again, we're just focusing on loosening the fascia around that occiput area so that we can find a more aligned cervical spine. Awesome. Alrighty, let's get started. So we'll start by laying on your back. Grab my balls. We'll start by laying on our back. Place the balls right on your occiput area. So right where the neck and the skull meet. And you'll need to hold the balls in place with your peace fingers. Otherwise, you'll notice they'll roll underneath you. So pause here, bring your feet to the floor, knees to the sky. And then the very first few moments is just allow your head to become heavy. Taking a few deep breaths as you breathe out, feel your neck softening, your head softening into the balls. This might be really intense for some of you. So if it is, you can always just lighten up the load and then slowly sink back in. With any of this work, we never want to feel ourselves wincing. So loosen it up if you need, or lighten the load if you need. All right, from here, keep your low back on the ground, and we'll begin to slowly rock our tailbone up and down. So low back is still on the floor, but I'm just tucking my tailbone under and then reaching it back. You'll feel the balls gently sliding up and down the neck. So you can stay with this rocking for as long as feels good for you, at least 30 seconds of this. And then you'll pause so it's right on the occiput area. And from here we'll do our neck slides. So let's gently slide the ears to the right and to the left. Doesn't have to be very far, but you'll just feel the balls sliding across that occiput left and right. Make sure to be gentle. There's no need to like yank it here. And then lastly, let's come to center. This time we'll gently turn our head to the left and turn your head to the right. So now you're rocking your weight onto the left side ball and onto the right side ball. All the while seeing if you can really allow that place to soften around the ball. Feel the fascia, the tissues, just melting down as best as you can, continuing to breathe softly, slowly. Nice. You can hang out in any of those movements for as long as you like, and then we'll release that. Let the head relax on the floor for a few moments. Nice. And then from here, we'll do a few neck lengthening movements. So let's make your way on up. And then from here, let's take the ear to the shoulder. And then gently take your nose and look down towards your collarbone. You can also reach behind you and gently give that back of the skull a gentle tug, reaching down with the other fingers, finding space. And then let's take the gaze and we'll look up to the sky at the diagonal. And then back to center, switching sides, so tilting ear, tilting nose, grabbing a hold of the skull, gently finding a pull, maybe reaching with the opposite fingers. And then let's look on up and back on back. Great. So after you do that neck movement, I would recommend every day, if you can, at night, you can do that process and then take a towel and roll up the towel so it's in like a tubular form, and you'll place it right underneath your neck and lay down on that towel so that we're reintroducing that curvature of the neck. And you can stay there for about 5 to 10 minutes, just resting, breathing, listening to something. So that's a great corrective exercise for the back of the neck.